Hello everyone, my name is Kyle Kinsella and today I'm going to be doing another update on my blockchain simulation project. So as of recently, I've been doing a lot of work behind the scenes, kind of as normal, fixing bugs and improving the core logic behind my blockchain simulation project. And it's at a point now where everything is starting to come together and it's all starting to click and everything's working independently and kind of working together and working really well. And so really in this video, I'm just going to show you how the system works from end to end. So how my blocks work, how my wallet creation works, importing a wallet, how my DAO works, and how people can make proposals and people can vote for the proposal or not vote for the proposal or abstain or whatever, right? So the first thing I'll get into is, before we get into the nitty-gritty of how they work, as you'll see in my hamburger menu, there's 3 things, and if you've seen the last videos, there was 4 things. So there was blocks, wallet, DAO, and proposals and candidates, but now there's 3 things. But what I've done is I took the DAO and the proposals and candidates and put it into the governance, the DAO hub. So I'll click into there and we can go to the DAO and view proposals and candidates. And when I click those buttons, it just brings me to those particular components. I won't do that just yet. I'll get to that later on in the video. So I'll just click on return home and I'll show you the blocks. So as you can see, before I've done this video, I have already mined some blocks. So we can see some data. We have some blocks. I can show the block data of when the blocks were mined. So they're mined at 10:26, so a few minutes ago. And we can see all the blocks, right? That's perfect. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to just mine some more blocks. So let me mine 25, no, we'll do 55 blocks. So I'm going to click on mine blocks, and as we can see, the blocks are being mined. So what happens is when you type in however many blocks you want to mine, in my case it's 55, that value of 55 is sent from the front end to my back end, server for mining blocks and constructing block objects. And currently on my block, I can't show it to you because this is just a screen recording of my phone, but on my blocks backend in my terminal, we're currently on iteration 34, 35, 36, and it just keeps incrementing until we get to the very end, the 55th block. So we're just going to have to wait while these blocks are being mined. So we're on iteration 50, so we're very nearly there. Any moment. There we are. So our blocks are all made, and out of the 55 blocks, there was only 10 blocks made. So out of the 55, 10 blocks were made. So 10 blocks found a valid proof of work field. The other blocks did not find a valid proof of work field, so they're not shown to the front end. Subsequently, because they didn't find a proof of work field, so they're not on the blockchain. But the 10 blocks that found it, apologies, the 10 blocks that found a proof of work field are added onto the blockchain. So you can see that the data in each block pointing to the next block as we scroll. So I'll keep scrolling to the end, and we're at the very end. And you can keep going and keep going, keep mining. But I've done this in previous videos, so in this video I'm kind of just going to give you a little breakdown of the project running. And another thing you'll probably notice is that I've styled this project a little bit more. So as if you've seen the last few videos of my blockchain project, the blocks were green, quite retro styled. I've updated them quite nicely now, and I think they look a bit better. So we'll click on go home, and each component has been updated and styled. So yeah, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into a wallet. So I'm going to create a wallet. Actually, on second thought, what I'm going to do is I'm not going to create a wallet because I've already created a video creating a wallet. But today what I'm going to do is I'm going to import a wallet, because I've already created my wallet. Now, as I have outlined when you're creating your wallet, and you will see that in the past videos, and if you look at the code base, which you're more than welcome to, I outlined that you should not show anybody your secret recovery phrase, your seed phrase, right? Apologies, something just happened there. Where are we? 1 second. There we are. Sorry about that. So generally, you do not want to show anybody your seed phrase, because anybody that has access to your seed phrase can get access to your wallet. But as this is a learning project and just a project for learning and exploring decentralization and the blockchain, because I'm very interested in the technology behind blockchain, I can show you my seed phrase. I have done in my past videos, and my seed phrase are just random words from an API to simulate a wallet being created, and these words have no actual value from my wallet. There's no funds tied to these words. So I can show you my seed phrase, but generally, when you're creating your MetaMask or your Phantom wallet, you keep your seed phrase to yourself, because anybody that has access to your seed phrase can control your wallet and take your Bitcoin or your Ethereum or your Solana or whatever type of coin you have. So I'm just going to fill in my seed phrase, each word by each word. Illustrators, boxed. Actually, I'll put in a wrong value to show you. Again, I've shown this in my past videos, but I will put in a wrong value. And I can actually do another thing. I've done edge cases. There's a lot of edge cases in this project. Same for the blocks. Actually, you can't make a negative block or 0 blocks. You have to make 1 or more blocks. And in this case, there can be white space and lower casing and whatnot. So for this one, it's called phrasemongers. Put 1 word, and then we'll just say we'll just say testing. So I'll click on import wallet, and we're told that working and testing are incorrectly inputted. So that's okay. We can change testing, which is a verbless for my seed. So click in import wallet, and we're told you still have an incorrect value, so it's working. So we need to find that. And working is my 9th value, so we need to put in my 9th value. So I'll click on import wallet, and we get told you successfully imported your wallet. We'll click on OK, and then we're brought into our wallet. So it's very bare bones, very basic, but it kind of gets the point across of you importing and creating your wallet. So what I'll do is I'll just come back to the home page. So now we kind of get to the cool part. So the blocks is obviously a very important part of the blockchain. It's the whole idea. But the wallet is also incredibly important. But what I've done is I've created a DAO, a decentralized autonomous organization. So I'll click into my DAO hub. I'll click on enter the DAO. So click on the button, and I'm brought into my DAO component. So what again, I'm not going to go into too much detail because I've already done a video on this, but I'll just go through the DAO kind of being used. And as you can see, it's kind of been styled a little bit more, so it looks a bit nicer. So I'm going to connect a wallet. So we're told our wallet is connected successfully. We'll click on OK. So that's perfect. So that's my wallet, and then I can make N other wallets. So I'm going to make, let me just say 3 wallets. Actually, let me do 3 wallets. So the wallets are being created. There we are. And what I'm actually going to do, just for illustration purposes, I'm going to do -1. So we're told I can't make -1 wallets. And if I try and make 0 wallets, I can't make 0 wallets. It has to be 1 or more wallets. And if I said 1, we have 2 wallets connected to this DAO. But for illustration purposes, I'm going to do 3 wallets. So we have a bid history, we have a treasury, today's date, the current bid, and time left to bid, etc., that I've covered in the last video. So we've connected our wallet. We have all of these things. So we're going to reveal today's reward. So today's reward is gas fees for life. That's the achievement card. Again, I've outlined this in my previous videos. So what we're going to do is I'm going to copy this alias name. We're going to copy him. He's going to whack in his alias name, and he's going to bid, let me say 25 tokens. So place bid. So his bid has placed successfully. We can then see, if we scroll back up, we can see that alias number 3 has lost 25 funds out of his 100. Again, I fixed previously the bid history wallet address was going off screen, but I have now updated that such that it doesn't go off screen. It just wraps onto the page once it's on phones. The treasury has been funded. The current bid has been changed. Perfect. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to bid as the next guy. I'm going to copy. We're going to put his name is, and I'm going to try bid less than 26. So if I said 20 funds, we're going to click place bid. So it says try increasing your bid of 20. It needs to be higher than 26. So you have to bid, the current bid is 26. So you have to bid more than 26. You need to outbid that alias of number 3 there, because you want to win this achievement card, right? So I'm going to bid, say, 27, because 27 is more than 26. So we're told that's been placed. The bid history is updated, and that wallet address's funds have been deducted. Then what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to change, and the treasury state has been updated and the current bid has been updated. And what I'm going to do is I just need to change my code, just a variable, to have the timer kind of be up. So I'm going to do this. You'll see it go from 23 to 22. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to bid as the very last guy. And what's going to happen is that's going to be his alias name, and he's going to bid all of his funds. So click place bid. So your bid is placed successfully. And then we're told, congratulations, the winner of the reward gas fees for life, and then that alias's wallet address of unworldliness has won this wallet or this achievement card with a winning bid of 100. So the transaction is confirmed. The achievement card has been minted. You've made this achievement card, and when we click OK, we'll be brought to our wallet. So I'll click on OK. I'll say no. And we are brought into our wallet, and we can see our achievement card, gas fees for life. So I now have that achievement card, which has some form of no real world identity or value, but in connection to the DAO, there is some form of funds. So I can actually go back. So in actuality, if we look, the treasury has 152 funds. So gas fees for life, the winner was, he's now gone, I forget his name. That's okay, because I don't have persisting N wallets. I persist the first wallet, but not the I need N wallets. But it's okay. But pretty much the gas fees for life achievement card, that alias 1 in his wallet is pretty much worth 152 tokens. And also we're going to go to the proposals and candidates next. So you're going to have to keep note of 152. So I'll click on go back, which brings me to, we'll just return home and we'll click refresh. I'll come back into governance. I'll click on view proposals and candidates. Then we have a little page for us, a little component to before we get going. So we'll click on submit a proposal. And again, as you can see, there's a little bit of a breakdown of what this component is. And as we can see, this component has been styled and there's 152 tokens. So the tokens that have been funded in the DAO are used to process these proposals and take the if an executed proposal is done, we take a specific amount of funds out of the treasury, which I will show you now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a proposal. So the proposal name is this. Now on my back end, I have a file of all the people that can make a vote. Excuse me there for 1 second. All the people that can, actually only specific people can make a proposal. So only a person that has won an achievement card in the DAO can make a proposal. So in this case, it's this person. Then we're going to say lower gas fees. And then we'll say that. And then how many funds? So we have 152 funds in the treasury. How many funds do I want to take out of that? So let me say 100. Let me just say 100 tokens. So we're going to submit the proposal. So the proposal is being created. And again, I've done a video on this previously, so feel free to watch that. We'll click on show proposals. So we can see the first proposal, and again, this component has been styled. So we can see the name, the description, and how much funds we request to take out of the treasury. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to vote. So I'm going to vote for proposal 1. My alias name is going to be Reekiest, because that's what's in my file. And then I'm going to vote for it. So I'll submit my vote. So your vote has been submitted. Click on OK. Again, I've made a video on this, so I'm not going to go into too much detail because I've already explained it, but I'm kind of just giving an overview in this video. So then I can click on show votes. So we can see Reekiest has voted for proposal 1. So that's perfect. And then we can see, each person, what each person voted for each proposal. But this section down here shows the accumulated votes for each proposal. So I'll click on view vote standings. And we can see proposal 1 has received the following votes. So it has 1 vote for, none for against, none for abstain. And I'll just show you some funds being taken out of the treasury. So we have a proposal. We'll just let somebody else vote. We'll do proposal 1, and we'll do matter. That's another alias. He's gonna vote against. He's gonna submit his vote. So then we are now shown the following proposal has been approved. So the name of the proposal is lower gas fees. The description is because this would give people an incentive to use the Ethereum blockchain. And the requested funds to take out of the treasury is 100 tokens. So click on OK. Then we're told that our vote is being submitted. So what I'll do is, before we look at the treasury state, because it has been updated, I'll just scroll down. We can see that Matter has voted for proposal 1, but they voted against. They don't want to vote. They don't want to lower gas fees. They want to keep the gas fees as is. but Rekius wants to lower the gas fees. And then we can come down here and we can see that against went from 0 to 1. And that would happen for abstain, and if we voted against again or for again, that state would update. And obviously I can hide these things. I can hide these as well. I can keep them up. Nobody can just cast a vote. In order for you to make a vote, you have to have create it. For you to make a vote to vote for a proposal, you need to have connected your wallet to the DAO. And only that's a proposal. There can be multiple proposals. There could be obviously multiple votes, the accumulation of all the votes for each proposal, but only a specific person can make a proposal, and that person is whoever has won in the DAO can make a proposal. And obviously the treasury had 152 tokens, and our proposal of lower gas fees had 100 request tokens, and we had 152 tokens in the treasury. We requested to take 100 out. There was more people for it than against it at the time. There was one person for it, nobody against it. So then we took those requested tokens, requested funds, we took 100 from 152, and we now have 52 tokens in the treasury. So one last thing, what I'll do is I'll just go back, and I'll actually go back in, and you can obviously see that the treasury persists via local storage, and all this stuff is still working. Okay, and one last thing is the treasury has 52 tokens. Click on go back. I'll click on return home. I'm going to come back into the DAO. I'm going to enter the DAO. And if we come back, if we come into the DAO, we can see the DAO, that state is updated. So the DAO has 52 tokens. So proposals and candidates and the DAO share the treasury. That state is shared between those two components. And it's shared via local storage, which I've outlined in my previous videos. So I'll just click on go back and we'll return home. I'll just refresh. So that is pretty much the end of this video. But before I kind of sign off at the end of this video, I would like to really outline how much I've learned from this project. I've learned an astonishing amount. With this project, I've learned how to manage state, particularly in React. So how to use effect, how to use state, and other hooks like use ref and different types of hooks in React. Now React was something I wasn't particularly good at, and I decided to use React for this blockchain project, and I've gotten pretty damn good at React in my personal opinion. On the back end, I have a little bit of Python, but not much. The majority of my code base is written in Go, and you can see all this on GitHub. Again, I've learned a tremendous amount in Go from my past projects, such as Kyle Connect and other projects, but my whole code base, my back end, is written in Go, and I've learned an astonishing amount. So in terms of next things to do for the project, I have two amazing ideas, and the two ideas that I'm thinking on doing is a peer-to-peer network. So obviously in blockchain we use a peer-to-peer network. I studied them in college, but I haven't really looked at them in a while, so I'm a bit rusty. But that's a feature that I'm thinking about doing. And the other feature is a mini Ethereum virtual machine, a EVM. So pretty much that is going to be a small variation of the Ethereum virtual machine. So it'll be either an interpreter or a compiler that compiles the bytecode, and it will effectively execute a small portion of Solidity. So for example, if I could write a contract add, and I can have a function in there to just increment add by 1, and I can give that to my code base using a lexical analysis, doing parsing on it, creating an abstract syntax tree and whatnot, and having the output for that particular contract each time that function is called, and the state being updated and whatnot. So there are the two kind of features that I'm thinking about doing. So that is pretty much the end of this video and the kind of next steps for this project. So thank you very much for watching. Have a lovely day, and thank you very much. Bye bye.